Grace and peace, everyone. Thank you for tuning into the Legacy Builder series. I am your host, Ace Rando. For those of you guys that are tuning in via YouTube and Facebook, feel free to share with your followers. This is a great night tonight. I have some phenomenal guests that's going to be on with us tonight. But before I introduce them, I want to come on with a little bit of an inspirational thought, as I always do. Some of you guys might have seen a live that I was a part of earlier today with Prophet Dwayne Britt, and he was talking about the Tower of Babel and how their work ethic was something to be inspired by. We get so caught up in the religious side about how God came down and confounded their language because they were so much on one accord that he caused different languages to come upon the earth. But the thing to be inspired by is their work ethic. They were able to pull together their mindset, their resources, their talents, and come to build a city. And then they built a tower. They built a tower which was considered to be the first skyscraper ever created in history. And so they came together to build this, and they came together bringing a kingdom principle or a kingdom mindset to people that was apart from God. They was not including God in the conversation. They was not including God in their know-hows and their abilities. And they built this tower, and it made God stand up for a moment to come down to see what they were doing. And to the point that he said, oh no, I got to set a boundary here, because if you can do things at this level apart from me, that I got to confuse this, because that means that you can come and do it outside of me. And so he had to come down and confuse it. But here's the thing I want to bring as a nugget of wisdom to your mindset. I want you to think of it from this perspective. How effective will we be as a people? Or let's take minorities for an example, since right now Black Lives Matters, all life matters, all of this is going on right now. But how effective would we be if we're able to pull together with our resources, our talents, our buying power, coming together in politics, in the Christian community, in every facet of life, and to build something? We will be unstoppable. The thing that was key in that is that they were unstoppable until God had to come down to disrupt, because what they were doing was apart from God. Now, add those principles and add God to the mix. It will be even more unstoppable. And so I want to encourage you that right now, don't look at life and what you're trying to build, that you got to do it all by yourself. God will bring people in your life that's going to help partner with you, that will have a puzzle piece to what it is that you're trying to accomplish or do in life. Don't allow your selfishness to keep you from coming to fruition of what it is that you're trying to accomplish in life. And so I want to thank Prophet Dwayne Britt for allowing me to come on with him. That word was excellent, and I wanted to bring a part of that on today. If you missed it, no worries. It's on my Facebook page. Let that be as a ministry to you. But let me pull out of that for a moment because I can stay there for the duration of the night because I have some phenomenal guests that's coming on tonight. I want to thank Doctors Richard and Nefertina Serrano for connecting me to this beautiful couple. They are doing some amazing things in the earth, and it would not be fitting to not have them on the Legacy Builder series. So stay tuned as we introduce our guest of the hour.
Legacy Builder, Mayor Ruben and Dr. Sandrie Bermudez. Former Mayor and First Lady of VineLand, New Jersey, served as President of Council for 8 years and Mayor 4 years, CEO of Juvante Formal Wear and the Hand Foundation. They also serve as local pastors and oversee over 300 churches globally. Stay tuned as we experience the journey of how Mayor Ruben and Dr. Sandrie Bermudez built their legacy.
Good evening, my beautiful guests. Thank you for coming on the Legacy Builders series. How are you all doing in VineLand, New Jersey?
We are doing great.
Thank
Good to
you.
see you.
Same
Thank you
here.
for having us.
Yes.
You as well. You as well. Just for the audience, just to bring you up to speed, I was graced with the opportunity to be a part of the Rise Up series with Drs. Richard and Nefertina Serrano, and that's how the connection to the Bermudez was connected. And then I had an opportunity to have a wonderful time with them in North Carolina. Oh my God!
Yes, we have a wonderful
video, go back and watch the video. I tell you, we was having an amazing time in the car. We were listening to a friend of mine's debut track out, and we was getting it in the car. We was praising God, and that's the thing that I love about them. That even though they sit in positions of authority in government as well in the spirit, that they are down to earth, and I love their spirit. I just told them pre-show. I said, "We're family now. We're family."
That's right.
So as we get started, so I understand again you're still in VineLand, New Jersey. So is that where you guys are originally from, or tell us a little bit where you guys individually are from?
Okay. I've been here all my life. 64 years in the city of VineLand.
Nice.
It's an amazing city. It's been growing, and I come from a big family in our city. Bermudez family is pretty big in our
Nice.
city, and I'll tell you. It's got to come this way to see what I'm talking about. It's in the southern part, south, and you'll be surprised. We're a very diverse community, by the way. That's what I like about our community.
Nice.
Well, I'm a native New York. I was born in New York City. It runs in my blood. But
Indeed.
I now live in VineLand, New Jersey. My dad moved out of New York City to VineLand, New Jersey to pastor. I'm a preacher's kid all my wonderful life, but I've not been here all my life. But God has seen fit to bring me back to the city, and it's just amazing to see what happens when you yield your life to the Lord and obey His command. It's amazing how God just takes you from platform to platform, and others would say from glory to glory. It's all good. Just being obedient to God's direction.
Indeed. Lovely. Love it. Love it. Interestingly enough, I actually lived in New Jersey and New York. I lived in Newark, New Jersey. And
the north.
No, you're the north.
Indeed. And I've been to South Jersey before, but I was there for a service one time, not too far outside of what was it called? Where's the tourist
City?
place that goes? Atlantic City. Yeah, probably about an hour side of Atlantic City.
35 minutes.
35 minutes from here.
Got it. Great. So how did you guys meet? I mean, tell us a little bit about your history and how you guys met.
I'll let you go.
Oh, he said it's my turn. Okay. Actually, my dad moved us here. I was 10 years old, actually. And that's where we met. Back then, Ruben actually was the drummer, the percussionist of the church. My dad's a senior pastor. I'm the preacher's kid. So we're going to make this story that's long, very short. And he was my first boyfriend. So that's how we met. In church, serving the Lord. And then there were some turns and twists throughout the years, and many years later, 42 years later, the Lord
Wow.
sees fit to bring us back together, and now he is my husband.
Indeed. Interestingly about that is that, when you think it's not your time and it didn't work out in your timing, God has another plan in store. And so, it's amazing to see how God brought you together. So when you guys were apart, I've heard a little bit of your story, because I do believe that you guys kind of parted ways at a young age, and then you had two separate lives. What exactly were you doing during that time? Were you married, or were you pursuing things in careers? How did you guys sustain yourselves in between being married?
Well, I was married for 39 years and two beautiful daughters.
Nice.
And then years went by. So happens that running for office, my wife passes away. It was 39 years, and it wasn't easy at that moment, at that time.
Indeed.
I didn't know if I was going to continue to run for office, but with the support of the people, pastors, friends, got the encouragement, and the Lord said, "Go ahead, do it, go for it," and it happened. Finally ran for mayor, and I won that year.
Nice.
2012. Before that, I served 8 years as councilman of our city, and then president of city council. So that's how things started happening when it took place in 2012.
Nice. So go ahead, Dr. Sandrie.
So after he widows and he does win the election, I would say about 6 months later, he approaches me and says that the Lord laid it on his heart to speak to me and to let me know that he spoke to him, that I would be his wife. I got to be really honest with you when you're asking about, what were you doing? First of all, I've been through a divorce, and I vowed, this is it. It's over. I've had too much. I've been through too much in life. I don't need a man to survive. We got to keep it real.
Indeed.
A lot of people think they see the glory. Yes. They see all the massive things that have happened, the platforms. I've traveled the world. I've been blessed beyond my imagination. And at an early age, I would say I was about 11 years old, 12 years old. I would be talking about everything that I'm doing now. I would be talking that I would travel, that I would meet people, that they would make a difference, that I would be walking and be on these platforms. My mom would tell people, just pray for my daughter. She has an imagination that's amazing. People called it off the hook. I called it, that's my reality. You cannot see what I see because it's my vision, not yours. But in this process, the Lord saw fit. My people, don't give up on your dreams. Children, don't give up on your dreams. I'm not trying to preach, but I'm sharing my heart. Because fast forward, if I would have remained his girlfriend back then, I would not be here today sharing with you the many amazing things that have unfolded in my life. So here we go to school. We travel the world. We work hard. I'm in corporate America. I'm in government. And it's a whole different ballgame when you're in government, serving others, teaching in corporate America, traveling as a conference speaker. But now you become overnight, not just his girlfriend. And that's another story. To backtrack for a minute there, I remember when he said to me that you're going to be my wife. I remember saying to him, I didn't get the memo. I didn't get the text. I didn't get the email. And quite frankly, I'm not on that page. The beautiful thing was to look at the big picture was when he said, take your time. And I'm thinking, well, that not a problem. I'll take my time. But can you imagine? Fast forward, I said yes, because my parents said yes. I wanted my parents' blessing no matter what, even at that age. And we get married. And the next day I now become the mayor's wife, the first lady of our city.
Wow.
The transition there, I cannot begin to tell you, Prophet Ace, what that was like. But I'll tell you what, you need to have rhino skin.
Wow.
You need to know what you're called for. I know my
Indeed.
purpose in life, and I'm passionate about it. So I really thank you for giving us this platform that we can share the message, that you can let your light shine, that you don't have to
Indeed.
sell out. And these platforms
Indeed.
are open no matter what. I count it a privilege. Every platform that God literally opens up. I'm so grateful to the Serranos, the marriage CEOs. What an amazing
Indeed.
couple. And even what a blessing.
Absolutely.
Because we met you through them. And then not only that, we
Indeed.
shared the platform with Dominion TV when the programs were
Yes.
recorded. It was an amazing weekend where we were blessed to get to know
Absolutely.
you in another realm. And that's what
Indeed.
I love. It's so awesome to know how high God plans to take you. But it's so important to keep your feet on the ground
Yeah.
and be able to know when to laugh, when to cry, when to come in with impact. I'm not trying to impress you. I want to come across and I want to impact your life. I want to let you know that it doesn't matter whether we're black, yellow, whatever color we are. We all belong to him. And I'm focused on
Indeed.
establishing his kingdom no matter what platform I'm on.
Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you guys on as well, because you being in the different spaces that you've been in, as I had put on the introduction, you have almost 400 churches that you oversee. You're in politics. You have the ear of different political leaders that you give to, and you do not lose your integrity of who you are. And I talked about this many times on this show about how your gift can bring you to the door, but your integrity, who you are as an individual, and what you stand for is what's going to keep you in the door. And I applaud you for what it is that you all are doing and what you stand for, because it is very integral. Now, I do want to kind of jump back over to Mayor, and the reason why I do address you as mayor, even though you're not currently in office, is because it's no different than if you were president. Even though you're no longer in office, I do honor you as such in that regard. What got you into politics? I mean, what prompted you to go in that direction? I mean, every politician has a different perspective. And one thing I can say about you in the different opportunities that I have met politicians, you do not come off as a typical politician, about power, about money, about prestige, about, in that regard. So you just seem very different. But, and I want you to address that as well. But I want to know how you got into politics.
Well, actually, back in 1996, I had a good friend of mine that knew me well. I've been in business quite a few years. It's been over 40 years I've been in business already.
Nice.
Back then, he seen something in me. He said, listen, you're well respected. The people like you in this community. As an Hispanic, I think you'll really make a difference, and you can do something for our community. And I said, well, I never thought of politics. I never thought about the business. Yes, I've always wanted to be in business. And well, I said, I'll give it a try. And that's what everything started back then, 1996.
Nice.
I ran for office, and I didn't make it at first. Took another term to run again, and finally I made it. But it was very interesting that God had his hand upon me all along. That, you hear a lot that a lot of politicians get involved in politics, and they get involved some get involved for the right reasons, some don't get involved for the right reasons.
Indeed.
And you have to be very careful with politics, because there's so much going on in politics, and you have to keep your integrity, like you said before, Prophet Ace. Integrity is so important. Your character is so important. People are watching you.
Yes.
People are looking at you, and they're saying, "Is he going to be one of the ones going to fall? Also, is he the one going to give in? Is he going to sell out?" See, people look at that.
Is he gonna end up in jail?
Oh, you're going to end up in jail.
Indeed.
And
Well, either that or they plan to put you there.
oh, they try.
Yes.
But I'm very thankful God had his hand upon me all along. I always had the right people around me. Always had ministers around me to advise me. So that's so important. That's how I became very successful. but you want to do it because you want to better your community.
Indeed.
You want to give back to your community, and you want to leave something that they'll remember. Hey, I remember that guy because he made a difference in our community. I see he did this, he did that. He did it for the right reasons, not because he wanted something out of it. That's the difference.
Indeed. So, as a politician, I do want to ask you this because some people go. You mentioned that you want to make a betterment to your community, but what was the thing that was the burden on you that you knew that needed to be changed in your community? That you knew by being in position of authority that you can influence that change.
I think it's very important that we as politicians that we kind of include everybody.
Indeed.
It's so important. Don't exclude people. Bring them all to the table. I don't care what background you are, who you are. I think you need to be in the table, talking with us, and expressing yourself. That's so important. Indeed. Because a lot of people feel left out. They feel not part of what's going on. So to me, that was a kind of burden for the people that you have a voice. You can speak out. Of course you can. Come to the meetings, get involved, get to know your community, what's going on, where's your money going, all that. Get to know how government functions, so important. And that to me is important that people get to know about their government, especially the knowledge that they need to know about how it functions.
Absolutely. That is great. And that's wonderful that you had that ability to go in to influence change. With that being said, I want to segue over to Dr. Sandrie, because I know that you also influence change. I know you deal with it to a degree in politics, but I know you do a lot of motivational speaking. You did a lot of ministry engagements and things of that sort. So how did you get into, I know you became one of the leading people with John Maxwell, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, I'm an executive director for the John Maxwell team. But prior to that, for years, I could tell you, I'll be 62 in February. And literally ever since the age of 12, I was teaching Sunday school. So the platform of becoming a leader is not born, a leader is made. I was shaped, I was formed. And I really have to thank my father. Of course, college and all that prepares you and takes you to the next level. And those different pieces of paper, they often open different doors. The truth is your gift makes room. I'll tell you what,
Indeed.
At the age of 18, I started following Dr. John Maxwell. Back then, all the certifications, all the programs, all the licenses, none of that came to play till he turned 62. So imagine that. He already has sold all his rights, you name it, and he turns around and buys them back. And now he puts this John Maxwell leadership team, coaching, you name it, mentorship, sales, all this in place. Now, I said to myself, I have followed him for over 40 years.
Wow.
What now can I do and how can I give back? I had already done Dale Carnegie, you name it, corporate, government, and now what do I do? How can I come back and not just serve at a corporate level, but take this and turn it into something that's of benefit to the church? To me, something that's key. If you're a person of vision, the question is, are you living your vision? Are you living your passion? And I had to find a way to connect this message and make it one that if I take it to Senate, to Congress, to legislature, to churches, to mission, to corporate, that it will come across the way it needs to come across, where it empowers people. And many people are simply existing. So grabbing a hold of this good, empowering and equipping information from me has literally opened and put the world at my hands with the John Maxwell leadership method. Becoming an executive director was not a challenge. It was something that I needed to do to give the best of me. A lot of people are simply living an illusion. Vision without action is simply an illusion. I took action. And so I take pride, I find joy in serving, equipping, empowering, educating, and I'm grateful that I'm bilingual. I
Indeed.
can do this in English. I do it in Spanish. I teach. I preach. I preach and repeat myself a lot till I see that people get it. I'm a destiny helper.
Indeed.
I'm a
Indeed.
destiny helper. And you know what? Even when I first got married to my husband, that he asked me to be with him that first year. And he didn't even say the first year. I really would like for you to be home and be by my side to help me in the process of what I'm going through. I'll tell you what I learned. I learned a lot about me. I learned a lot about serving at a local level. That's why I say that I have a global vision with a local view. Even with the churches, 14 in the jungle, the rest throughout the world, Indonesia, the Philippines, Mexico, New York, Bogota, Colombia. I'll tell you something. I had to learn the value of serving at a local level. And
Indeed.
even with all the changes that have unfolded, no regrets whatsoever. Having the right attitude of the heart to love people beyond this. In closing, not insulting no one, but loving
Indeed.
people beyond their ignorance. Okay?
Indeed.
Understanding that knowledge is power. Understanding that I'm fit for my assignment, which means that you also roll with the punches. And when the punches
Indeed.
come at you, let it slip, let it slide. That has nothing to do. You're focused on the mark. I'm focused on the mark. When I hear people talking, does it align itself to the passion and the purpose? It doesn't. God bless you. It's been real. Moving right along. Moving right along.
Indeed.
You're not ignoring people. You know who you are. You have the right identity. And that's
Yes.
why I really take pride in being number one, a first lady. Number two, being his wife, Ruben's wife in itself is a challenge. It's an assignment, especially when you can speak and do all that I do, and people automatically think that you don't know necessarily how to just sit back. I'm learning to step back. There's going to come a time where I totally step back and he's totally in the front. We're walking side by side, but there are certain assignments that I see clearly that he will be right here. And I
Yes.
will be right here supporting. Yes, yes, yes. What creates a success here in this team is that we understand our assignment. Building a legacy.
Yes.
I love this. This
Yes.
building a legacy, it's amazing because what are we building? Who are we
Yes.
impacting?
Who
What's
are
the
we
purpose
impacting?
of it? It's not about us. It's so that long after we are gone, they say, hey, you know what? We are carrying the torch. They prepared us.
Yes.
They embraced
That's
us.
what
They equipped us. They gave us a platform. They created the platform. They paved the way. That's all I need
Yeah.
to hear. I don't need to hear she was the greatest speaker. She was the greatest this. You know what I want to hear? Well done, good and faithful servant. We took
Absolutely.
the people. We've embraced the
That's
people.
right.
We love the people. We add
Yes.
value to the people. Add value. It's so
Absolutely.
important. And when you can focus on your assignment, and not on yourself, that's where you build, listen to this, a legacy that long after we are gone, there's an
Yes.
impact and an effect into eternity.
Indeed.
Eternity.
Absolutely.
So I love what you're doing, Prophet Ace. I think it's awesome. There are many unsung heroes that will never be heard
Yes.
unless you do exactly what
Absolutely.
you're doing.
Matter of fact, we are
Thank you
kingdom
so much.
builders. We
Yes.
and you, Prophet, we are kingdom builders, kingdom changers, kingdom
Yes.
ambassadors to our community,
Yes.
to the world. And we can do this together. No matter what we have to
Yes.
face in life, we are doing it for his kingdom, not our kingdom, his kingdom. That's what we're here
His
for.
kingdom.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And it's
This is
important
amazing.
because the vision has to be clear. The
Yes.
vision has to be clear. I repeat myself a lot. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. There's so many things unfolding right now in this world. And I say to people, listen, find your voice, find your place. And voice. Not only voice, I tell people, and we're not talking politics, okay? But people always said to my husband, oh, you're not a politician because you don't do X, Y, and Z. And
Mm.
you call it whatever you may, but guess what? I do know God put him there, and He put him there for a purpose. Now I tell
Indeed.
people, our job is to empower you, is to equip you, is to help you understand what's administration, what's legislation. Go register, go vote, make your voice count where it really counts. And it's
Yes.
time for us as a community to really become that powerful voice. Though we are many, we are one. And I'm counted for. So literally, whether it's ministry, whether it's corporate, whether it's government, we need to understand that we are a voice. We're ambassadors of the Most
Yes.
High God. And that if He has saw fit to place us there, it's for a purpose. It's for a purpose.
Yes. Absolutely. I tell you, this is wonderful. We're going to take a break for a quick moment because I tell you that if you guys are just coming in, no worries. You can go back and watch the replays. It's available on YouTube and on 4 different Facebook pages. So no worries. So you can go back and hear the wisdom and the nuggets that's come from this beautiful couple. But before we continue forward, because I do have some other questions based off of some things that you said, let's go ahead and pay the bills and have a word from our sponsor. Stay tuned.
Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Introducing Legacy Brand Consultants. Identifying the brand within. We offer vision planning assistance, strategies for increasing revenue, offer staff vision training, along with senior leader seminars. We conduct business development conferences, church expansion strategies. Also, business expansion strategies. We offer plans on increasing foot traffic with a rapid rate for success. Phase 1, vision creation. Phase 2, strategic outline. Phase 3, branding strategy. Phase 4, growth strategy. Phase 5, expansion planning. And Phase 6, the exit strategy. Schedule your consultation by calling 773-599-9388. Office hours are Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let us help you identify the brand within.
Thank you guys for staying tuned for that brief announcement. I do have a phenomenal guest on with me tonight, which is Doctors Sandrie and Mayor Ruben Bermudez. They are an amazing couple, and we are moving into the second half of our segment. Thank you guys for staying with me on the Legacy Builder series.
Great.
So you guys said some amazing things, which prompted me to ask some questions to what it is that you guys are doing. You guys were talking about how, the things that you were doing in government and how you're doing as a motivational speaker and how your integrity and your character is what cause you to be in the doors and the connections that you're in. And so with that being said, you two were before you came together in marriage, because if I'm not mistaken, you've been married 7 years. Is that about right?
7 years.
Yes.
So good memory. I have a good memory. And so in the 7 years, Dr. Sandrie, you was doing your purpose, and Mayor Ruben, you were coming into politics. And so I'm going to ask you all the same question, but individually. So Mayor Ruben, when you were looking at your soon-to-be wife and you saw the purpose that she was living and what she was doing and how she was traveling and just building the kingdom through ministry, it's a two-part question. Were you intimidated by the woman of God or who she is and her purpose? And how did you see yourself connecting to who you are to help push her into her destiny?
I'll tell you what, I knew that she traveled a lot, that's for sure, but God had already ordained her for the future. Because many times, I remember she tells me when she was younger, and she would tell her parents that she would be traveling and all over the world. They really thought that she kind of lost it a little bit, to be honest with you. She was telling me this. But there was something special about Dr. Sandrie. She already sees the future, and she sees herself there already, beyond. She sees beyond already. The impact she can have in people's lives all over the world. So I already knew that she was going to be traveling. I would have to stay here because I also had a business and I was mayor at the same time. But at first, I didn't think twice. I knew that she had already a platform already set, and this is what she wanted to do, and I accepted it. All I was asking for that just 1 year, just adapt a little bit until we got together, and then I was able to understand. Yes, God has called you. I can't hold you back on your destination. God has called you to do this, and I respected that. And be honest with you,
Just when I got used to it.
And I tell you what, now I've been able to travel with her to these countries, and I'm amazed of the people, the impact she's had so many people's lives.
Yes.
And not only that, is that I can sit back. I don't have to be up front. I can just sit back and enjoy just hearing her speak the word of God to these people, because it ministers to me too. So it doesn't intimidate in any way. God has a special way of dealing with her. As to me, I'm a little different. I stay back a little bit. I'm a little shy sometimes, but I stay back a little bit. I let God do what he has to do.
Indeed.
But I'll tell you, it's been a beautiful experience with her, because a lot of things that I didn't understand, I didn't know, all this traveling, I couldn't believe that she went to so many countries. But the people that she was able to reach while she was there, young people especially, that I've met, they call her mom. Lawyers, politicians, amazing people that love her because she was able to have an impact in their lives. It's unbelievable. So I'm not intimidated in any way. I just love when God uses her in that respect.
Indeed. Dr. Sandrie, same question.
Well, no, intimidation has never been part of my, make. But I'll tell you what, I was challenged when I went through the divorce. Now, you have to understand, I have been through an annulment, and that's another story in and of itself. I said, Lord, I don't understand this. I don't need a man. I can stand on my own. I don't want to be married. And so for Ruben to approach me and then tell me that God spoke to him, that to me was, it just rattled my mind. Now, mind you, then he asked me to stay home. The only way this is going to work, he said, is if you stay home. And quite frankly, at first he did not put a time frame. I actually said to him, do you know what that means? And I started saying, this is my livelihood. I'm used to what I'm used to. And this would just be, and he literally steps up to the plate and he tells me, look, you'll lack nothing. Now, I have my good girlfriends telling me, have you done lost your mind, girl? Men will promise and they don't deliver, and it won't last a year. It was unbelievable. You know what I had?
Indeed.
Prophet Ace. Okay. I was speaking to some of my girlfriends who don't necessarily have a relationship with the Lord, and the few that did said the same thing. Now I said, I'm in double trouble because they're both saying the same thing. And the Lord literally tugged at my heart, and I got away. I needed to hear from God, directly from God at this point. And I remember saying to Ruben, listen, we need to talk to my dad. And of course, he tells me, we're adults. Why do we need to talk to your father? I said, because I will honor him till the end. And there's a chapter we need to close. And the way to do this is to go before my dad. So I have to tell you the truth. I wasn't willing to sacrifice my family. But I also have to tell you that I was very much taken when we did. Ruben called my dad and makes this appointment. We sit at the table with my dad. And before Ruben speaks, my dad says to him, I will speak first. And my dad says, I waited 42 years for this day.
Wow.
Now I knew, not only did the Lord speak to Ruben, obviously I also had my dad's blessing. So
Indeed.
Fast forward, I do say to Ruben, okay, I'll stay home. And I'll tell you that the day he got up and said, God spoke to me and he said, I cannot keep you home. I have to actually release you. I know what he has called you to. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. First you want me home, now you're telling me to go. But I'll tell you what I found during this process was not I found that I married a man that's secure, secure
Indeed.
in himself. A woman like me that does all that I do, corporate, ministry, and everything else with the foundation, a number of other things that I do, to be able to put this all on the table, find balance, create teams. I do nothing alone. All I do is create teams. In every platform that I work, I have teams. I'm here right now, and we're putting our Awaken Global Conference with a whole team from Colombia in place.
Wow.
And I'm here, and we're working in Indonesia. I'm here preparing the platform for the Fashion Week, whether it's virtual, whatever happens is we're on it already. So what am I saying? For my husband to be completely connected to what I do is Mayor Ruben understanding who he is as a whole, and then Sandrie understanding who she is as a whole, and together working as one. Can
Right.
two walk together unless they agree? So we found each
Indeed.
other, we understood each other's platform, and what's been happening is an amazing merging of understanding, of communication, of completely being connected. I tell you that we even plan our dates. We even plan our getaway time. We plan our
Indeed.
week, but we're going to just slap. We're going to have fun. Forget everybody. That's easier said than done. It's something that you learn and you practice. It doesn't
Indeed.
come easy. I remember saying to Ruben at the beginning, Prophet Ace, because you do go through different processes, okay? But I'll tell you what, I'm all about communicating. Well, I had a great time. There was plenty to do at the City Hall, but I just got news for you. It's been 3 months, so we got an X, Y, and Z. And at first he says, there's so much work to do. And I say, you'll have a whole lot more work to do if you don't take care of your first responsibility, which is us. And I find that because we communicate and we're connected at this level, Prophet Ace, the success is amazing, to the point that he'll remind me it's time to get away. That's powerful. That's powerful.
Indeed.
You need that.
That's
time.
our first ministry. You
Yes.
can't get so caught up. At one point, I was asked would I run for Congress.
Mm.
Imagine, and he was campaigning for mayor, and we took a good look at each other and we said, absolutely not. We're focused. I'm backing him up 1,000%, no matter what. And I know that this year God put it together. And just because we've had challenges and been through different phases in our life, it doesn't mean that's the pattern or the cycle will repeat itself. So I
Indeed.
remember people say you won't last a year, you're not gonna last 2. You have a strong character. Ruben is this way, you're that way. And I said, well, but God put us together. And if this is of God, no man can come against it. 7 years later, he's still a gentleman. 7 years later, I lack nothing. 7 years later, he still opens the door. And it's amazing. In my process, I also learned you don't let no negative voice into your life, into your marriage, into your professional life, and to be very, very careful. Who is that inner circle? Who are the voices that you listen to? Are they really for you? There are people that walk with you, but they're not for you or with you. So it's important to know what's surrounding you, even during this time of growth.
Yes, absolutely. I tell you, it's an amazing, you all story is amazing. And I see, how you complement each other and how, even to the point that you guys are able to finish each other's sentences because of the connection that you all have. And that's amazing. And even for those that are listening, that are in marriages, that are having difficulties, you have to acknowledge the individuals, what God made them to be. God made them individuals before before you all came together. And he was able to recognize the purpose in you. You was able to recognize the purpose in him. And you was able to come together and to support one another in what it is that you're doing. That is amazing. Now, I also understand that you all are local pastors as well in the city, along with, having the almost 400 churches or what have you. I mean, let me just going to ask a realistic question. How do you all balance it all? I mean, from you're still involved in some sort of level of politics. You still have the ear of different religious leaders and governmental leaders. You're traveling all over the world. How do you balance? I just find it phenomenal.
Teamwork.
Indeed.
Teamwork.
That's what she's all about.
Do nothing alone. A perfect example. I consider it an honor and a joy to be able to say that one of my siblings, my brother, JR, he's also the senior pastor of our local fellowship. So my husband and I, as overseers of all this church, when we are not on the road, we're right here. We sit, we come to our Bible study. We need to be fed. We grow strong, but I'll tell you what, good leaders, that's where it's at. You make leaders and you let them function. You let them grow. You give them good roots, wings to fly. And it's amazing. I'm of the belief that if you're making good leaders, when you get away, they do even better. And that's it. People that think they have to be present all the time, there's a challenge. What kind of leaders are you creating? Are you creating them where they have to literally hold on to you? And if you're not present, it doesn't happen. It doesn't roll. I teach and I equip to prepare leaders that when I'm gone and when my husband's not present and when we're traveling or doing ministry or doing government or doing corporate, that literally they can do anything and everything that it takes to do. So I owe the success, my husband and I, with ministry to great leaders that understand the platforms that the Lord has ordained us to be on, and also that understand the calling for ministry. It's really my brother, Pastor JR, Pastor Tanya, Minister Dora, who lives in West Virginia. If I were to tell you, we just got back from Virginia. We did everything as we needed to, legally right, taking the proper measures. We had an amazing retreat. They came in from all over. I was able to sit during that retreat and just watch them lead and take charge and make it happen. And we were even seeing miracles and wonders, God at work. I wasn't even the one laying hands. Brother, you prepare leaders so that you can also have measured results, empowered results. So it's all about teamwork. I could talk to you about 7 teams right now and 4 more that are in the making. Why? Because they have to go. People that come and warm up seats in the churches and they're there 30, 40, 50 years just warming it up and criticizing who comes next. Well, I've been here 50 years. Listen, no. You need to renew your mind, be empowered, and, grow your roots and fly. Have wings to fly and go empower others. Be renewed. And that's making leaders. That's it. Making leaders and sending them. That's it.
Yes. Absolutely. And this is not about a doctrine or anything of that, but this is a true understanding of what the apostolic is, even though you don't have apostle on your name as an office in title per se, but the work that you're doing which derives from the term apostolos, which means sent one, and you're sent into the earth to build and to cultivate leaders and to impart into leaders' lives, and I love it. I love how you all are doing it. And even though, we both were a part of a series about manipulation, about how leaders keep their foot and their hand on leaders that do not allow them to thrive and to spread their wings. So I applaud you as leaders to see the people's potential and say, look, go after it, go and accomplish it and make it known. Interestingly enough, and I hope Dr. Nefertina doesn't kill me for saying this, but we were literally talking about you last night and was talking about how grateful she is for you being in her life and how you help push her into purpose and to focus on the things that she's doing. And I find myself getting connected more to people that do the same thing that I do. I'm the same thing. I'm kind of like a coach or a mentor or a father, and spiritually father people. And that is my thing. I want to push people into their purpose and destiny. I don't need anything in return. I don't need you to sow into my ministry. All I want to see you do is to be your best you. And that's what I see that you all are doing. And that is amazing.
Let me quickly share this. In 2012, I was ordained into the office of apostle.
Nice.
Now, let me share this. I never wanted that title after my name.
Indeed.
Because when I understood that a true apostle serves, that's really what a true apostle does.
Yes.
And I have seen how many abuse that title.
Yes.
I ran from it. That's number one.
Right.
Number two, with so many titles out there, because of so many different preparations and all this schooling, I said, Lord, who am I really? And he made clear to me, you're a destiny helper. And
Nice.
it encompasses all of the above. And then I understood that none of those titles are my identity.
Yes.
OMG. When I had that wake up call, the Lord, I literally woke up to just serve, make it happen, and let's see the results.
Absolutely.
I love seeing measured results. I love loving people. And you know, there's different types of leadership. I could tell you that Dr. Sandrie's love pushes you until it happens.
Indeed.
And that's
Absolutely.
it. And you have other people's in the team. What she means is this, but you do need to grow up. But you do have it in you. Go do it, you know. And I'm
Indeed.
like, well, I said what I said, and I meant what I said. But you have those that, you know, Pastor JR or Pastor Tanya, someone that knows how to cry. Yeah, but you know, listen.
Yeah.
We literally make the difference. People like you, people like Dr. Nefertina, Dr. Richards, coming together. Literally, we heal people.
Yes.
We're destiny helpers. We bring about transformation.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about. That's why, to me, I want to come to the table, sit at the table, and be part of the solution.
Indeed.
I want to be where people are being celebrated, not tolerated.
Absolutely.
I celebrate what you're doing. I celebrate what the marriage CEOs are doing. I celebrate what Dominion TV is doing. I celebrate where I see people that are understanding that we are building and establishing his kingdom, not our kingdom.
Yes. Absolutely. You know, when you mention seat at the table, I'm reminded of, and I shared this with my mother actually. And when we were having dinner after the show on Dominion TV, I had a inward emotional moment, and I felt like, you know, I'm actually sitting at the table. You know, what I mean by that is that I'm sitting at the table with other kingly minded people. You know, kings recognize kings, and you know, former mayors, and a motivational speaker and a woman of God. Then we had the Butterbee and her soon-to-be husband, and she's a national recording artist. And then we got the marriage CEOs, and just sitting here, and I'm sitting here like, you know, having seat at the table. It's humbling, and some people lose sight of that. Just like you were talking about, people that take advantage of title instead of embracing the office. Something when you're apostolic or when you're a prophet or whatever, that is something that is ingrained in your DNA. No man can put that on you. That is who you are in identity. You do, it exudes out of you, and that's why I say, as far as your apostolic, as far as a sent one call, you're doing it naturally, and just how you imparting into people's lives and how you live as examples before people, that is inspiring. And so I'm definitely honored to be connected to you all. I do have a final question before we get out of here, because I know it's almost 8 o'clock. But the same question that I ask all of my guests, and I want to ask this to you individually, because this is something that you can do together, but this is something that you all can do that you're doing individually. When it's your time to ascend on, and God tells you that it's your time to take your eternal rest, and to go on to glory, what is the legacy that you want to be remembered by, or that you want to leave behind? And Dr. Sandrie, we can start with you.
Well, the truth of the matter is, I just want people to say she empowered us, she loved us, she valued us. Long after that, the leaders that are here will take into eternity what God deposited into my spirit. You see, I believe strongly that he's given us a global vision. If you're walking with me, if you're walking with us, we have a global vision. And to remember that though we are many, we are one. It's so important to understand that we all have the right to be heard, So find your place, find your voice, empower others, embrace others, and remember that there's no need to compete, compare, or complain. We need to complete, we need to collaborate, we need to connect, we need to communicate, and understand that no matter what, though we are many, we are one.
Same question to me, right? Okay, I'm waiting for you. Okay.
We can't hear you.
I can't hear you.
Same question.
Oh, no, okay.
Same question.
Well, to me, I'm happy to tell you that throughout the years, 64 years in this here, that God has me here on earth, that I could say that I have left an impact, especially in the youth.
Yes.
Because I've talked to them so many times, especially in the school systems. I was able to go when I was councilman, when I was businessman, and when I became mayor, I was able to go to all these schools and speak to them and let them know that there's purpose in their life. You can do even more than I can do. You have everything right in your hands right now. I grew up different. I grew up without computers and whatever. You guys have everything in your hand. You can take this to another level in your life.
Yes.
And I said, now's your time. This is the time that you can make the difference right now.
Yes.
And I just know that somehow that when I leave this earth, someone heard what I said and they took it beyond what they thought they could do. That's what I want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? I do apologize, you guys. I did not have on scroll at the bottom of the screen the information of these beautiful people. As you can see on rotating on the screen is their websites. They have actually, I'm going to ask before we go, tell us more about the Hand Foundation as well as your clothing store as well. I also included their social medias as well. So those of you all that want to know more about their story and want to have them to come and be a part of your events or the speaking engagements and things of that sort, definitely take a look at those links below. But tell us more about the Hand Foundation as well as your clothing brand.
Well, the Hand Foundation, there's quite a number of programs. So educational, it empowers families. Along with that, we have the Global Government Leadership Institute. We also have the legendary Legacy Awards once a year, and that's with many unsung heroes. We've had the pleasure, this past year, we had Tasha Cobbs here with us. We've had Brayley Evans with us, who prior was with the Oprah Winfrey Network. We've had Cheryl Jackson from Minnie's Pantry. Some of the highlights of many of the events. We just had Real Talk Kim. So we do educational programs. We do conferences. We do the Maxwell Leadership Method. And we make leaders, and we make sure that in turn, not only do we make leaders, we create platforms for our leaders, so whether it's coaching, mentoring, sales, business. Then we have another aspect which is with TV and film, every aspect of acting, writing, producing, sportscasting, broadcasting, and animation, all about educational programs. So the Hand Foundation in and of itself is a handful, again, teamwork. And some of it is here, other portions of it is in other parts of the country, but we come as a global hands-on with the Hand Foundation. And aside from that, I also do the runway. That's fashion. We have designers that work with us. We have the Princess Club, and there we take them from the age of 3 all the way to high school. Then we get them and send them to college. They come back and they get back to the community or whatever country. I have girls right now that are studying in the Philippines, and they in turn are also getting ready to put in place the Princess Club, which is through the Hand Foundation. Vietnam, over 300 girls. I mean, I could go on and on of what we do just with the Hand Foundation alone. When you look at the impact that the Hand Foundation has, literally, I dare to say that we are touching thousands upon thousands at a global level and at a local level.
Amazing, amazing. Now the formal wear.
Well, that's something that's dear to my heart. That's my passion. That when I started business, I've been here over 4 decades. It's called Juvante's Formalwear. And
Nice.
probably people wondering that name, right? It's kind of catchy a little bit. But when I started looking for a name, I went to a friend of mine that worked at the library, and I was asking her, "Can you find me a name for my business I'm going to start here?" I said, "Sure, let's get together." So we went through all the names, and she gave me Juvante Deal. And I said, "Hey, I kind of like that name. That's catchy." He said, "What's that mean?" He said, "Well, I'm going to tell you what that means. It means God helping." And
Wow.
that's the name of the business, Juvante. And it was incredible. And I've been here over, like I said, over 40 years. I've seen a cycle. I served
four
from
generations.
Four generations. You start seeing the kids that were back then prom. They were prom kids back then. Today, they're fathers and mothers, and they have their children now coming to me. It's amazing how it goes. It's amazing, and I treat them like family. It's amazing. They become family.
Wow, that is amazing, 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 amazing. And before we go, what is it on? What's on the horizon? What can we be looking forward from you and your wife that's going to be on the horizon that the followers and the viewers can be on the lookout for?
Well, we're working on there's two options, two TV programs. We'll soon tell you about it.
Nice.
And I'm also two books that are coming out. Oh, by the way, I was on Women of Wealth magazine with Dr. Lewis and working on some other projects. We have our own magazine, which we're getting ready for our next holiday magazine, and it's called Focus to Enable. Focus to Enable. This is our third year, and we're excited about that, getting ready for our next edition. And I'm working on a project. We are working on preparing a Miss New Jersey. Project number 2, a Miss America. So let me tell you, you can shine for Jesus and walk the runways.
Indeed. I love it.
And the question is, are we running for office again this year? We're not, but behind the scenes, we are working with a number of candidates, not only at a local level, but at a global level. Consulting and government has been an amazing blessing where we not only help them, but we minister to them. And we love that platform where the Lord has us at a global level.
Yes, absolutely. And with that being said, I do want to share this with you before you go. I encourage you to continue to move in the place of destiny, continue to build legacy and what it is that you're doing. What I see for you all is that God is going to continue to expand your borders, not just for you. But what I see that it's happening because I know you all are feeling like, okay, we eventually want to take our step back. But what's happening is he's expanding and enlarging your borders for others to build upon. And they're going to be building upon your legacy and what it is that you've built and what you've created. And even the mentorship and the fathering and the mothering that you're doing is going to reproduce and is going to reproduce and it's going to reproduce. And your name is going to live on beyond time and continue on in your connections and building and pushing people in purpose and destiny, because these are going to be the ones that's going to shift and shape this entire world because they came through your hands. And so be on the lookout for that. You're going to have the other politicians that's going to eventually take office in president. They're going to be in the different branches of government. They're going to be in different places, and from mayor to senators. These are people that's going to come through your hands because God has need of the wisdom that you have in this season, and he wants you to continue to pour into sons and daughters, because that's how the kingdoms of this world become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Christ, through influence. And that's exactly what you're doing. Continue to build the kingdom, continue to build legacy, because I tell you, it's going to last the test of time. It's going to last the test of time. How the saying goes, when the world ends, it's going to be roaches and share. Well, your name is going to be listed, counted amongst the rest. So I want you to continue, and I applaud you for what it is that you're doing, because you're doing an amazing work, and I am greatly appreciative to call you all friend. And thank you guys for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having us. It was our pleasure.
Great to be here.
Indeed. Thank you again. Thank you all for coming on to the Legacy Builder series. I know other time as far as maybe we went about 6 minutes over, but the Bermudez are doing such amazing work, and they are an amazing couple. And I want you to follow their pages. You see them scrolling on the bottom of the screen. I do apologize. I did not have them on rotation. We kind of got caught into the conversation, and I did not have it scrolling on rotation. But nevertheless, you can go and freeze the frame, and you can be able to follow them on their Facebook, on their Instagrams, on their social medias, and their websites. And I tell you, if you want to partner with them, if you want to sow into what it is that they're doing with their hand foundation, if you're trying to be a part and get that mentorship and that connection, if you're trying to get into politics and they can be able to pray for you and mentor you on the direction of where you're trying to go, I encourage you to connect to them. They are doing an amazing work in the kingdom, and God is going to continue to expand and enlarge whatever they put their hands to do. And so why not connect to great people like this? So again, follow their pages on the bottom of the screen, their website addresses, and just keep them locked in. You're going to be seeing their names more in the world. You're going to be seeing their names more in different communities. Right now, she's the woman with purple hair. So that's what she's known for. So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout. I know Mayor Ruben said that he's a quiet, kind of soft-spoken person, but play some music. Play some music, and you'll see he'll come out. And I am indeed grateful to be a part of them. Also, for you all, I do apologize. We do not have the flyer ready because we had a shift and change of program. We did have originally scheduled a House of Representatives for Georgia that was coming on with us on tomorrow, but on Wednesday. But unfortunately, he is actually caught up with the House of Representatives, and that they're in a meeting, so he's not going to be able to be with us on Wednesday, but we're going to reschedule him for September. Nevertheless, I'm doing a roundtable on Wednesday. I tell you, if you all are struggling and you are trying to build legacy, and you're having your difficulties in building and creating legacy, this is going to be a real talk moment conversation. You do not want to miss this live. I have some people that's going to come on, and we're just going to have some real talk moments to encourage you, because this is the time and this is the moment where you should be seizing your destiny, seizing your moment, because the world is turned over on its head for a reason. That God has given us favors in areas that we probably wouldn't have gotten favor in if the world was functioning normally. And so seize this moment, seize this opportunity, because I tell you, it's going to open up doors for you that no man can shut. It's going to knock doors off the hinges for you, and it's going to be just archways that you're going to be walking into clearly. But you have to have a vision. You have to have a plan. And I said, like Dr. Sandrie said, not to make a decision is a decision. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a vision, you perish, as the word of God says. So I want you to be encouraged. Get your visions together, get your plans together, and continue to pursue after building legacy. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Legacy Builder series, and we'll see you back on Wednesday.
Thank you for viewing the Legacy Builders series. Tune in July through August, Mondays and/or Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with special guest panelists to appear. Want to be a guest or a sponsor? Send your request via email to legacybuilderstv@gmail.com. Till next time, go forth and build legacy.